Hello. You're probably on this channel for reasons that you typically wouldn't be on this channel for. This is not the type of video that I usually do. Um, but as a person who's new to YouTube, using YouTube really at its highest level to share a message and a vision that I have, I went through heartache, headache, and pain trying to figure out how to actually shift to using YouTube in that manner. So, as a new YouTuber who spent money, spent time, spent research to finally get to the point of getting the answer that I've been looking for, I want to just share that with those of you who may be new to YouTube, who may already been on YouTube, but decided to use their YouTube page for a different reason, elevate by doing video content. Or even if you already been doing, something on YouTube, but you're possibly looking for some new technology or whatever, then I want to share that. So this is not like those typical product review videos where they review a product, you click on this link and all that. This is just authentic. I don't want you to go through the pain that I went through to figure out one question that I had when I decided to elevate my YouTube page. What is the best camera to use for what I want to do? Or even if it wasn't the best, what's the, a top level camera that I can use in order to deliver top level content? And in my research, I went through so much just to get where I'm at now. So if I can share anything that can possibly help someone, great. So first, when I started YouTube, I started with just recording on my phone. I just recorded with my Samsung 10 Plus, but I knew that I wanted to do interviews, sit downs with individuals to coincide with a podcast I already have. And I knew a phone was not going to work for that because, I get calls. I have two phones and I get a lot of calls on both phones. So I didn't want to use a device that I felt I can get interrupted in. So although when I researched and I found that many people have suggested just get your phone, just record and go. That's true. There's some videos I recorded with my phone, but very short videos or videos that I had to end up like splicing together. Again, being interrupted with the phone, just like now, my phone is it just happened as I'm speaking. So for me, going to this next level, a phone wasn't going to cut it. As a busy person, I could not trust the interruption of a phone. So I dug deeper and I found information about getting these type of cameras because the interviews I do are recorded videos that I use streaming platforms on. And I also wanted to know what is the best device, not just for the interviews, but a good webcam, period. And so that's why, I guess in my research, some of the hits that I got back was literally to get these type of cameras. I have two actually. This one is an HD that spans the view in the back. And then I have one that just really focuses on me. Those cameras are great. They're good. But for the look and the functionalities that I wanted of a camera, I could not get from a camera like that because it does the one thing, which is to just replace your computer camera and focus on you, or you can get a wider view. And that is all that I can do. You can't change or adjust lighting. You can't change or adjust, aperture, ISO, all those good things that you have to get into and learn when you research the video. So it's just that. So you got to hope you have great lighting. If you're going to use this camera in the daytime, then you may use the camera at night. The lighting's going to be different. You're constantly trying to figure out how to get that good lighting. So that didn't work for me because I do these interviews and I needed the webcam where I can trust that I'm going to get the type of lighting that I want each time that I do it. So I continued my research. So I spent money. That's the first time that I invested, was to get those type of cameras. I already had my phone. So that's, what I use, but I invested in getting those 2 cameras. That didn't work. And so I researched more and I dug deeper, kept looking, what is the best camera to get? And so I came across videos that was saying, it's a great idea to use if you already have cameras laying around the house, to use those cameras and turn them into webcams where you can also record video. So, I felt that was perfect. I have 2 cameras already here, 2 DSLRs. And so the first one that I tried was the Nikon. I went and I got my Nikon out and I looked at videos that gave information on how to use my Nikon. And one of the things that the video said you need is a capture card in order for your Nikon to work. So when I ran into the videos that said use your Nikon, that was one thing. Then as I kept digging deeper, going down layers, the next thing was, oh, by the way, you need a capture card. You can get any type of capture card you want, but one of the capture cards that I kept seeing individuals talk about over and over and over again, although they say you can get any type of capture card, was this Camlink capture card. So I got the Camlink. Of course, those of us who are new to doing something, even though, we may get information when people tell us, I'm going to show you this, but you don't have to get this. You can get whatever you want. Well, we're more than likely going to get what you show us because, it's already more work to figure out what else is different, but, comparable. And if you constantly hear people pushing the same thing, you're going to get that thing. So I got that Camlink. That was another investment. That was over $100. I can't remember, but it was over $100. I got the Camlink. It came here. Then I went back to the videos to see, okay, now what do I do next? Then I found out, oh, wait, you needed HDMI. So I went and ordered a HDMI to go into the Camlink, and I had to make sure I got the, right HDMI for my Nikon. I looked at more videos to figure out what to do, how to get that. And so I did. I was able to get an HDMI for my Nikon, which was this. So they have different type of tips at the end. You have some that have mini tips, mini HDMI, MIDI HDMI to regular HDMI. There's different ones. You have to make sure, for your camera that you're actually getting the right HDMI. That's what a lot of people can spend money and be like, uh-oh. So when you, if you're going to use a DSLR, and you're going to get your capture card, whatever it will be, make sure that you do get an HDMI because it goes on that end of the capture card has the part that goes into the computer and the part that you have the HDMI into whatever device that you're going to use. So now I got the Nikon, I got the Camlink, and I felt I was all set to go. I did my first interview. I had everything set up, all of the, settings according to my liking. That was a whole nother research, walking through how to set up your Nikon for video recording. I did all of that, and I was set to go for my first interview. And I realized right before my first interview that my camera cut off because I did some testing before the interview started. It cut off. I turned it back on, pushed the little shutter button, turned it back on. Was doing some more testing. It shut off again. Now that an hour went by, and I'm like, oh gosh, what is going on? Why does it keep shutting off? Batteries charged, everything is good. But I did a quick YouTube research, YouTube University, to figure out, how to troubleshoot a Nikon that keeps cutting off when you're trying to record. And I wanted to hurry up and troubleshoot it before my interview. What I discovered was, for some reason, I didn't discover this whole time when individuals were sharing, make your DSLR become a webcam, video, all that, they never shared, but it will turn off. Most DSLRs are set to turn off in 30 minutes. Actually, it's right before 30 minutes. It's like 29 minutes and some change is set to just shut off. I had to move forward with the interview. I did not want to put the webcam because it was not set up for all the lights and everything I already did. And I, of course, already said I didn't want to use my phone. I just didn't want nothing to happen with this interview. So I moved forward with the Nikon. I prepped my interviewee that the Nikon will shut off. And when it shuts off and you're interviewing and you're using Zoom, I use Zoom as my streaming platform to interview, my box turns completely black. So I did let that person know that it was shut off. It's a DSLR. It's going to be black, but just keep talking. If you're talking, just keep going. I'm there. I will shut it on and I'll jump right back in. And that's exactly what happened because the interview was over 30 minutes. I didn't plan on doing, my interviews are not going to be 29 minutes or less. My interviews will at least minimum be an hour to go. Even if they weren't an hour before my interview starts, I prep my interviewee and I already hit record because I don't want to forget to hit record when I'm in my interview. So recording is already going through the whole prep thing. So time is already ticking. Time is not on my side. I will have to wait to, re-click it again to reset it. But it happened. Not only did it happen, it count down. There was countdown, numbers as it was getting ready to shut off. So I will share that video in the link. You could take a look at what it looked like as far as the quality of the Nikon, but also what happens when you actually use it, how it cuts off and, the numbers and the countdown, all that good stuff. So I use that. So I knew from there, I had more interviews coming up already scheduled and stacked. I could not use that. So I was scrambling, went back to my research again to YouTube University. And I ran into a video that says, a few of them actually, it was a couple of them, turn your Canon, any Canon, into a webcam or recording video. And the Canon that I have didn't have it. There's unlimited time. It wasn't limited to 30 minutes like my Nikon. So I said, okay, well, I have my Canon that I can use. And I'm going to watch these videos that say, turn your any Canon into a webcam or, recorder, streaming recorder. So I watched the videos and found out that I had to buy another HDMI because the first HDMI that I had was a bigger, again, a MIDI HDMI to regular. I had to get a mini for the Canon. So I went and bought the HDMI cord to fit the Canon to go inside of the capture card to stream it. So as soon as I plugged it in, my camera was reading to upload pictures and I couldn't get it to work. And then of course I downloaded all these other software sites that I kept running into to be able to set it up. I did the OSB, I did the film hub, I did all types of things. And then I ran into a video that says, oh, the Canon website has the EOS webcam software for you to download. You go to the Canon website, find the Canon camera that you have, click on the software that goes with that camera in order for you to use it. So I went to the Canon website, looked for the EOS software, and I looked for my camera. and it was not on the list. Found another video that says Canon release the cameras that will be compatible with the software that they have to make it a webcam. So now none of this information I found when I first researched it. So you only know to ask what you want to know. So at first I just asked about the webcam DSLR that came through, but later as you drill down, you get more answers. And I drilled down because I wanted to know, why isn't it working? That's when I got the information back that the Canon website released the cameras that are compatible with the new software that they have. And this Canon that I have was not one. This is the Canon PowerShot SX50 was not on there. I think the one that was on there, that was a PowerShot, because they have it listed in categories. They have PowerShot cameras. The PowerShot that was listed, I believe, was the SX70 or something. I'm not sure. You have to go to the Canon website. So here it is. I am now invested in buying 2 webcams. Then I went and got my DSLR out, bought HDMI and a capture card for that. Then that didn't work because it was turning off. I got another HDMI in order to use my Canon, that these videos are out that says turn any Canon into a webcam. Please stop misleading us for clickbait. Please stop doing that. Some of us just don't know, and we're trusting your advice, your expertise, and all that good stuff. You cannot turn any Canon into a webcam. No. It has to be a Canon that already works that way, or one that needs the software from the Canon company, whom list which Canons are compatible with the software that they have. So if you ever do that, please check to make sure either your Canon already does it, or before you buy anything, if you have a Canon, check their website to see if your camera's on the list. I think it had on the website that they updated as they expand more cameras. I don't know when's the last time they updated, but this was not one of them that was listed. Also, let me go back. The capture card that I got, this cam link that I got, that was another thing that when you go to their website, they listed which type of devices it's compatible with. And I prayed, please let this be compatible with what I do have. And although my camera wasn't listed, the Nikon that I have, and I got to see which Nikon this is. The Nikon that I have was not listed, but it was compatible. And it just looks like, though, on that website, they're not up to date. Like, it seems like they take a while to just update information on there. So I think that's different than the Canon, but the cam link, it seems like it's just a website that's not attended to. So that's probably one. Maybe you can ignore, maybe not. Maybe now that you know what to ask before you get a cam link to see if your device is compatible. But I know this Nikon is, my Nikon was definitely compatible with it. So it worked. Even the PowerShot Canon was compatible. It's just that the PowerShot needed software in order for it to be a webcam. So 3 devices down. Well, actually 4 if I count my phone. Had to go back to the drawing board, research, because I did not want to use, again, the Nikon that did work and keep turning it off and on for 30 minutes. So kept digging deeper, and I ran across some videos that now said you can turn your home recording device, such as this, into a webcam. And the one video that I really watched, the gentleman, he pulled one up. It was an older recording device. And then I watched another one. Someone pulled the Sony one up. That was older. This wasn't too old. It's not too old. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. I got a camcorder. I'm going to use my camcorder as a recording device and a web camera. So I watched all the videos, and none of the HDMIs that I had purchased for my Nikon worked for that, because now the camcorder needed HDMI, but it had to be a full, just a regular size HDMI to HDMI, not a MIDI, not a mini. It was regular. So I had to buy another HDMI. See, this side, it's big, the same size on both sides. So I had to buy another HDMI for that to work. Hello? This teriyaki. The noodles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So after I got the HDMI to go with that camera, which they said you can also use any capture card. So I had one, and I wasn't going to buy another one. Got my HDMI. I went to hook up my camcorder to my cam link. And that's where I found, okay, maybe this device I have is not compatible with the cam link, because it did not work. So where that person in that video said you can use any capture card, I was in a situation where cam link is not one of the capture cards that I was able to use. I plugged in the HDMI to the camcorder to the cam link, and it kept skipping, or it will go in and out. It wasn't stable. It would not stay on. It wasn't stable. It's like it wants to pick it up. I can see myself, then it disappears. So I had to go back to YouTube University. That's where I was adamant about using this camcorder. I started drilling in, asking more specific questions about making the camcorder into a webcam. And that's where I ran into a gentleman that walked through the whole step. And I tried to, of course, being someone new, get exactly everything that he had in that video to make sure it worked. But not only was his camcorder old, the actual type of capture card that he used was old, but he didn't use an HDMI. It was a capture card with the input and output cords, the yellow, red, and white cords. And I could not find it at all. And I started searching and searching and searching. I found other ones, but I was confused because it was so much information behind it. Anyways, I ended up searching through comments. And someone finally did ask, where did you get the type of capture card that you have? Where did you get that at? With the input output? He responded back, they don't sell these anymore, but there's something that's very compatible. And so, yes, he put that answer. So I went and I got it. I invested in this input output capture card. So you input output it, and it has the USB, and then the part that goes into the camera. And this is the whole capture card. It is actually, really nice. It does a lot. So what he had, this is the new modern update version of doing everything that he was able to do with the old one that he had. So I received it. I was excited. I got it. I hooked it up. And the color, no matter how much I tried to adjust the camcorder, the color just was not right. The background wasn't right. I did everything that I knew to do as far as the ISO, the aperture, all the settings, white balance, everything. It just didn't come out right. And I believe the interference was because this is more of a higher quality. It's like 4K, and I think you could probably do like the 1080p and all that stuff as well, but I think it was just too much transfer of information with the camcorder that I had. Definitely is not 4K, and I was able to do 1080, but I can't remember what the shutter speed was. I think there was a disconnect. So no matter what I tried to set it as, it wasn't reading right. The colors off. Maybe I could use this if I ever want to do something that look really vintage, or I want it to look like a camcorder. Like I want that look, like that's really off. But that's not what I wanted right now. So now I spent money on 2 webcams. I spent money on a cam link and an HDMI for my Nikon. I spent money on another HDMI to go with my PowerShot Canon. I spent money on another HDMI to go with my camcorder, and then spent money on getting another capture card that is not HDMI, but that is an input output connection for a capture card. And I was screwed because now time is of essence. I have an interview, and I just kept plugging away at YouTube University, came across a video where someone says top cameras for video recording. Didn't have webcam and all this time. And I was like, okay, well, video recording, this is going to work. Watch the top reviews, the top 10 reviews that he did. He got to the number 1. Of course, I don't care about the previous 9. You said number 1. I'm going for number 1. I just don't have the time. I don't want to spend any more money on trying to figure this all out. You said it's number 1. Why would I go for the other 9? This person was showing how each of the devices look. I liked the way the device looked that he said was number 1. He had so much hype behind it. So the number 1 camera that he recommended was the ZV-10. And so I just went to search online. Well, no, he had a link where he said you could purchase the ZV-10 and my link. I went in his link, not link, but I went in his description to click on the link. When I clicked on the link, it brought me to Amazon where it says sold out. So then I went online to look for this ZV-10, and everywhere that I was looking said sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. I'm like, oh my gosh. Finally, I came across Best Buy. Best Buy didn't have sold out. Clicked on Best Buy. Best Buy asked, do you want the camera body only? Because the ZV-10, you come with the camera body only, or do you want it with the lens? I was like, I'm not paying for this, the body only. It was only maybe $10, $15 difference. I'm buying it with the lens. So I clicked on that to buy it with the lens, got it, put it in a cart, ordered it, and ran to pick up the next day, the day that I actually had an interview. This is now the time, the wire, I was not just at the wire, I was pretty much touching the wire. So I ran that morning, picked up the camera from Best Buy, rushed back home, figure out how to set it up, get all the settings ready for the interview that I had in a few hours, went on YouTube, back to YouTube University, went to class, looked for setting up the ZV-10, the best settings, camera settings for the ZV-10. When I went and looked it up, someone was bringing, going through the steps. I noticed when I was following that person, the body of my camera looked different than what he had. He was saying the HDMI is here, the USB is here. Then you have the headphones, microphone. I was like, wait, I don't have all that. I think I'm missing headphones. I have microphone, and I have this USB. I don't have that. I'm like, what's going on? Something's wrong. And so I ran to my phone, looked at my receipt of what I ordered to see if, no, I didn't. Let me back up. I looked at the box. The box had Sony ZV-1. Like, this is a mistake. It doesn't say Sony ZV-10. It says Sony ZV-1. So I ran to my phone, looked at the receipt to see what I purchased, and it sure enough said ZV-1. I did not catch that when I was ordering it, because I only searched ZV-10. I didn't even hear of a ZV-1. I searched ZV-10 online. It brought me to all the sold outs. Then it brought me to Best Buy. But when I clicked on getting the camera with the body, somehow it switched to ZV-1. Didn't notice it because it has ZV and a 1. I didn't notice it was 10. And I'm like, I'm screwed. I can't go debate anything. I have to use this camera now. Research the ZV-1 settings for the camera. And when I went to research it, the very first video that popped up is ZV-1 versus ZV-10. Look at this before buying. I said, I don't need anything else to piss me off anymore. But I looked at it, and when I looked at it, the person was going through all of the features of both cameras. And then at the end, he chose which one he preferred, and he chose the ZV-1. And that just made my day, just to hear this person who was a tech person, deals with many cameras, very knowledgeable, was comparing both, chose the ZV-1. That made me feel good. So I said, okay, I just need to figure out setting it up. But the reason why he chose ZV-1, or I should say the reason why I was kind of livid after listening to how he compared the two, livid at all of the other previous reviewers, is because he broke down things other reviewers didn't touch on that new people like myself really needed to know. But really why a lot of people are saying ZV-10 is a great camera, and it's really got some of the same features as ZV-1. So it is a great camera, but because of the interchangeable lens. For what I wanted, that was a non-factor. I didn't need the interchangeable lenses. One, I have 2 DSLRs that does all of the things that the other lenses, the interchangeable lenses does, but then I could change the lenses out on my DSLR. Maybe if I didn't have any DSLRs and it was my first camera, ZV-10 would be the best option for me. It's an investment. I can start with the package lens. And then as I grow, I want to do more than just sitting and recording and webcam and video. I can change it out, but that's not what I need. That's not what I need right now. That's not what I need because what I have, but I just wanted to find a camera that was a good web camera, a camera that was a top-notch camera to do my interviews, look clean, change up settings how I want to change them up. That's all I needed. The ZV-1 was perfect. I didn't need to change it out. The lens that come with it is absolutely great as far as it zooms in and zoom back is great. I don't know if you even noticed, I put this setting on. If you have product, there's a setting with product review setting that if you put a product in front of the camera, it blurs the back. You could take that off. I'm still learning settings, but I love what I was able to do so far with the ZV-1. So I say all that. I went through this whole long story to hopefully help you in your search. If you're someone new to YouTube or just want to change to doing something new on YouTube, such as just video recording, that's another thing that was tricky to me. I kept finding people review cameras and they talked about vlogging. This is vlogging to me if I'm recording, but it seems like every time they were referencing it, it's vlogging when you're outside and you need a camera and you want to catch the view and catch what's going on out, the scenery. So that's also why ZV-10 was great, because you can change the lens when you're vlogging, meaning catching footage outside. You can change the span of the view. You can get as close to something as you need it or far away. So of course with the ZV-1, it's just the lens, fixed lens. You're going to get it only as far as close as that zoom in and zoom out is going to let you get. So you may not get the full span. So that's vlogging. Let's be clear. So when I looked for vlogging, I was talking about this. Now I know, no, just video recording, webcam, camera, and I sit and do interviews. I need a camera in front of me, point, shoot, record, and I need it to be quality. ZV-1 was that for me. It doesn't shut off. It has long life. There's settings in the camera. Please find other videos to go through that with you. Told you I'm not a tech person, but there's settings that are not there by default, because by default it's set to turn off if you feel like it's going to overheat or whatever. But there's settings you can choose to override that. You can set it in your camera to be charged by USB. So when my camera is plugged into my computer as I'm recording, it is also being charged at the same time, so it never shut off. I have done interviews for 2 hours, and I've been on here forever with you all, definitely longer than 30 minutes. So that ZV-1, I would say if you're new to YouTube or new to video content recording, you're not someone who needs to go outside, catch all of these different shots. That's not the type of vlogging. You just need quality. You want to play with a camera to get the colors and everything you need. The ZV-1 is something that I found. I did not need a capture card. Sony had the same thing like Canon, where there is software on their website. You just go download the software for ZV-1. You know it's there because it's for the camera. You download the software for ZV-1. Once you download it, it is plug and play. You're using the USB to your computer, laptop, whatever, and choose the platform that you want to use. I choose Zoom. And right when I choose Zoom, the same way you would set up what camera you want to use, it's showing right there. No extra steps, no headaches, plug and play. So I will change out this camera and I will show you what the ZV-1 looks like. Again, I'll put in the link. The first video I did with the Nikon that shut off, I'll put in the video link. I didn't do one with the camcorder at all. I did do it with my phone. You can compare that. But again, if you don't want to be interrupted, don't do it. And then right now I'm using the cam link. So you see from this video what the cam link look like. And this is with me just doing basic settings, researching and doing basic settings, me using the product review setting, me just blurring the background a little bit. Sony ZV-1 for us that need it. So I hope I helped you. Maybe later on I will talk about the headache and heartache I went through finding the microphone that I need. I actually have two microphones to do two different things. And I also found a device I need to, just to plug the microphones and have everything working, the amp that I need. I'll go through that. But right now, it's been too long just to go through the horror story of getting the right camera. So I'm going to end that there. I hope I help somebody get the answer to that question that they want. What is a top-notch camera to use as a webcam or for video recording as a new YouTube person or as a YouTube video person, whatever it is, without all of the other fluff, without addressing the questions or giving more information for us to make an informed decision and just giving us hype. So this new YouTuber, to get the hype, I gave you what it is and what actually worked. Have a great one.